Hey, lovelies! If you're a romance author who wants a website that actually makes sense, you're in the right place. Today we're talking about visuals, not in a here's how to use Canva way, more in a here's how to make sure your website actually looks like your book's way, because those are very different conversations, and the second one matters a lot more. A lot of authors hit the visual side of their website and immediately feel like they're supposed to be good at design, like there's a right answer out there, and if they scroll Pinterest long enough, they'll find it. And then 3 hours later, they've saved 47 palettes and somehow have less clarity than when they started. But here's the shift I want to offer you. This isn't about being good at design. It's about sending the right signal. Because your visuals have one job, to make the right reader feel like they're in the right place. When I was building my own author site, I ran into this hard. I write supervillain romance, which is not a category with a neat little shelf. So I couldn't just pull comps and call it a day. I had to zoom out. Dark romance, superhero media, comic book covers, movie posters. I wasn't looking for pretty, I was looking for what my genre feels like and how to communicate that visually. And that's the shift. Your visuals aren't there to impress people, they're there to guide the right reader in. That's the real job of visuals on an author's website, genre signaling. Genre signaling just means that when someone lands on your site, they immediately get a sense of the emotional experience your books deliver, before they read a single word, before they click anything. Think about it from a reader's perspective. If you write dark, atmospheric, paranormal romance, and your website is soft pastels with script font and little hearts everywhere, that reader won't think this website is wrong. They'll just feel a little off and leave. When your visuals match your genre, readers feel recognized, like they just found their shelf. That's what you want. So instead of starting with Pinterest, start with your book covers. If you already have covers, or even cover concepts, those are your cheat sheet. The colors, the fonts, and the mood. Your website should feel like a natural extension of that visual world, not a separate thing. If you don't have covers yet, that's okay too. Look at the authors you'd want to sit next to on a shelf. Look at the top books in your subgenre. What colors show up? What fonts? What feeling do those covers give you? That's your starting point. Now, here's the thing I want you to hear clearly. Consistency beats complexity, every time. You don't need a complicated visual system, you don't need 17 brand colors or a typography hierarchy with 6 different font weights. You need a small set of choices that you use reliably and that together feel like your work. Chaos doesn't come from too few options, it comes from too many. Every extra visual choice is another moment your reader has to stop and think. And readers who are stopping to think aren't relaxing into your story world, they're just confused. So if you're staring at a blank page wondering where to start, pick 2 colors from your covers or your comp titles. Pick one font for headings and one for body text, and commit to those. You can always refine later, but starting consistent is a lot easier than trying to untangle the chaos after the fact. I want to say something clearly before we move on. You don't have to be a designer to get this right. You don't have to have an eye for color or know what visual hierarchy means. You just have to know your genre, and you already do. Your job isn't to invent your visual language, it's to recognize it and use it on purpose. That's a much more manageable task than design a beautiful website. And I think when you frame it that way, it feels a lot less overwhelming. If you've watched this series and you have a clearer picture of what your website needs, but the gap between knowing and doing feels like a lot, that's exactly what the first page is for. It's a 60-minute, one-on-one session with me where we get clear on your specific site, what you need, what you don't, and what order to do things in, including your visuals if that's where you're stuck. It's $47 and you can book it at kissandtales.com. The link's in the description. You're more capable of building this than you think. The first page is just there if you want a clear outside perspective before you start. Let's bring it together quickly. Your visuals have one job: make the right reader feel like they're in the right place. The best tool you have for that is your book covers, or your comp titles if you don't have covers yet. Keep your color and font choices small and consistent. And remember, consistency beats complexity, every time. A website that feels cohesive is almost always simpler than you expect, not more complicated. In the next part of this series, we're moving from concepts to websites. I'll be walking you through some of my case studies and talking through the decisions that went into creating them. If you want to see how all of this comes together in practice, then make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, lovelies. I'm Erin from Kiss and Tales, and I'll see you in the next video.